All right, week 16, Thursday night football. The backdrop's a little bit new. The setup's a little bit new. I'll be honest. I did not watch Seahawks Rams. I was trapped on a plane for 10 hours. We're going to have a problem with Delta. We're actually going to be complaining. Just inhumane stuff. Like, we didn't even move on the plane. We were just sitting there. I knew Rams, Seahawks was going on. And I'm actually just watching the ticker on the plane screen because they didn't have the game just go up and up and up, and I see overtime and 2-point conversions popping up. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I'm missing the game of the year. And I did. I came back, I watched the highlights, I rewatched the game. There was a lot to talk about, and it looked like an NFC Conference Championship game, which is awesome. We're getting the playoffs before the playoffs even hit. We're ramping up to the playoffs. And now that I'm here, I thought, let's bring the mic, let's bring the stand, let's bring the camera, the gear, because we got to shoot some content. We got to stay true to the fans, to the supporters, and I appreciate all the love all year long. That's why we're still on the show. JV show over vacation here in Florida. If you love the content, if you appreciate that I'm putting in the work here on vacation, which I love to do, by the way. But if you appreciate that, if you like the show, please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. It means the world. I'd like to shout out my sponsor for the year, Big Third Down Shop. You can get their hats by looking at the link in my bio. I brought one of them, this JV Show one, the classic embroidered white hat. They look phenomenal. They feel phenomenal. So go get yourself an early Christmas gift or a New Year's gift or just a gift for yourself, a friend of any NFL fan base. They got it all for the fans. Founded by the fans. Now we got a real game to talk about, guys. Thursday night football, Seahawks 38, Rams 37. So many takeaways from this game. I've heard a lot of discussion about that 2-point conversion. Listen, when I watched it back, I initially didn't have volume on it. So I'm like, all right, looks like a regular play. Charbonnet picks it up. All good. But then I see the 2 points go on the board. I'm like, what the hell just happened? You know what I mean? And when you watch it back, it was a backwards pass, sure. That's what happens when you got cameras all over the field. You're going to see unique angles like that, and you're going to see the truth right in front of you. It was the right call. Very odd. I think the takeaway from the game for me is that the Rams are still the team to beat in the NFC, but the Seahawks found a spark late in the game, and that'll win you games more times than not in the league. But overall, as a team, I think the Rams should be most feared, but the Seahawks can definitely compete. Now, just to talk about the Rams real quick and really dissect this whole MVP discussion, because this year, honestly, these past few years, there hasn't been a quarterback to me that has stood out and had this phenomenal, outright MVP season. This year specifically, Matthew Stafford has been great. Drake May's been great. Josh Allen's kind of coming around. We're going to toss him in the conversation today, but nobody stands out as like the guy. For sure, we're putting all our votes on him. So it's kind of interesting from that perspective, but I think watching that Seahawks-Rams game and seeing what Stafford's done all year long consistently, it's hard for me not to put him at the number one spot for MVP. I love Josh Allen, but Stafford should be the MVP at this point. We'll see what happens these last few weeks. But Stafford all year long has been the guy. So if you want to argue Josh Allen has the toughest job of the three or of the quarterbacks in the league and does it the best, for sure. Josh Allen does the most with the least in the NFL. And he's the most valuable player to a franchise right now, because he carries the Bills single-handedly. He single-handedly carries the Bills to the playoffs, to conference championships every year. People want to say, oh, he's got a great O-line. He's got a great running back, defense average. Sure, James Cook has been phenomenal this year. The protection is great. But what do you want him to do? Like, play with nothing at all? The secondary really isn't that good. People want to bring up the passing yards against. Statistically, we've been good there. I promise you, we will get exposed. When we play good offenses with elite receivers, we kind of get exposed, if you haven't noticed yet. Run defense is absolutely horrendous. So all we're really banking on here is the offensive line and the running back. So overall, for sure, Josh Allen does the most with the least. And if you want to base it off that, if you want to bring in all the context and say which quarterback, because it really is a quarterback award here, which quarterback takes the most on his shoulders, it's Josh Allen. Josh Allen's the best player in the NFL. But we also can't change the parameters of the MVP award. The MVP award has historically been the best player from the season. Matthew Stafford, from day one, has dominated. Statistically, the numbers don't lie, and the performances speak for themselves. Almost 500 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 105 passer rating against the Seahawks. You can't deny that greatness. Josh Allen's had some phenomenal games this year. He's been extremely consistent, but he also started the year off really shaky. The consistency has only been this back half of the year, which is awesome, which I love to see as a fan. As a biased Bills fan, I love to see that because the consistency actually comes in the big-time games, especially later on in the year and in the playoffs. But the MVP award, which has historically been the best player from the season, right now is Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford with the no-look passes. And I know he's got Devontae Adams and Puka, and that plays into the whole context discussion that we're having. But he's been the best player, both numbers-wise, eye test. He passes it all. And he's got the Rams in a really favorable position to do damage in the playoffs. And he's in his late 30s, balling out as the best quarterback in the league. So for me, although I love Josh Allen, although I think Josh Allen deals with the most crap and still brings his team to the positions of like, hey, we can win a Super Bowl every year. The Bills would be a bottom 5 team without Josh Allen. Believe that. They really do not have anything outside of him. Matthew Stafford's this year's MVP. And I think the game against the Rams showed that. The chunk gains, the throws anywhere on the field. He's done everything all year long really well, really consistently. I'm just pulling up his stats here for the season. I mean, 4,200 yards, 40 passing touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. The Rams are 11-4. He's 37 years old. That's an impressive season. I don't care who you're throwing to. You could be throwing to Calvin Johnson. You could be throwing to Randy Moss. It's still an impressive season to be doing that against NFL caliber defenses. And he's playing in a really tough division. They're not even first in their division. Seahawks took the crown with the win on Thursday Night Football. And the Niners have been a really good team this year as well. So I think Stafford deserves it. And, you know, the numbers themselves, I mean, he'll be at 45 touchdowns, 4,500 yards by the end of the year. He's going to be up there. It's going to solidify him as a Hall of Fame player. If the Super Bowl didn't, this will do it. But I always wonder, like, imagine Stafford had the team from day one. Look at the damage Stafford has done as a quarterback the second he got to a competent franchise. And the Lions really only became competent the second he left and Dan Campbell arrived. And, you know, just imagine Barry Sanders or Stafford or Calvin Johnson actually played on well-thought-out, structured, developed teams where they could go the distance, how much greater they could be. And Calvin Johnson, already, in my opinion, the most dominant receiver of all time. Barry Sanders, greatest running back of all time. Stafford, who knows? He's going to Canton. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. But, you know, could he have had more than one Super Bowl in his career if he played on a better team? I think so. One of the most talented arms we've ever seen. I think this is a well-deserving MVP award. He's been the best player, best quarterback all year long. And it really is a quarterback award, which is what we're dealing with here. And Drake May, too. I mean, he hasn't been as dominant, but very consistent this year, too. I wouldn't be mad if he wins it, but I think Stafford's numbers are just that much better. They're just a little bit better. And I know Stafford's got the team, but then it's like, how do you judge the MVP, right? Is it truly the most valuable to a team? Because it's Josh Allen. That's who that is. But is it the numbers? Is it the performances? Is it the consistency? Well, then it's Matthew Stafford. Then you're looking at Drake May, I think. The Rams as a team, like I said, even though they lost this game to the Seahawks, even though they lost a few weeks to the Panthers, a few weeks ago, pardon me, they're the team to beat. The Rams are the team to beat. They're the toughest battle in the NFC. If Stafford heats up, if Stafford gets going with Devontae Adams and Puka, it's game over. Puka is a game changer. He's a phenomenal athlete. He does everything for this offense. Blocks his ass off, works his ass off, makes tough grabs. He picks up yak, scores touchdowns. He's good in the short, intermediate, and long game. He does literally everything. He's an offensive coordinator's dream because of the production that he produces and his ability to work literally anywhere on the field. This offense is going to be terribly difficult to stop. You almost have to put up 30 points as an opposing offense to match what the Rams can do. And that's what the Seahawks did, especially late in the game. It wasn't just the offense, the special teams factored in, and we'll get to that right away. But I think the Rams are going to be the toughest go in the NFC come the playoffs. I think they're the most complete team, I would say. I mean, Philly obviously has the talent, and we saw that last year, but they haven't been all that great this year, especially offensively. I just don't think they've been there. They did beat the Rams early on, but with the way Stafford has looked to close out this year, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be good to see. I think the Rams are beatable, obviously. We've seen them beat a few times the past 3 or 4 weeks, but they're going to be the top. I mean, like if I'm going to pick a favorite, if I'm going to pick a playoff team where I trust the quarterback and some veteran guys, I'm probably leaning the Rams. That's who I'm going with. The Seahawks, on the other hand, the Seahawks are an interesting team, and here's why. I think their defense is just incredible. Now, they were put in some bad positions against the Rams. Wasn't their best day by any means, but I still think they're a top 5, top 3 elite unit in the NFL. I think what Mike Macdonald has done with this team, with that defense, is pretty amazing. How young they are and how great they are with his system. You know, they've come in, and usually you'll have a little bit of trouble with younger guys, you know, learning the systems, getting into the NFL. It's not always a smooth transition, but it seems like Mike Macdonald knows what he's doing. You know, he was set. He was perfectly fit for that head coach role, and he's done great things for the Seahawks defense. That's why I believe so heavily in Seattle, is because I have trust and faith in their defense. And look, Sam Darnold had a great fourth quarter, I guess, overtime. But let's call a spade a spade. I don't trust Sam Darnold in the playoffs. I don't know how you can. This team seems very similar to the Sam Darnold-led Minnesota Vikings last year. Now, I don't know if Seattle will win the conference. I don't know if they'll get the bye, but I can promise you this. In big games, I have seen Sam Darnold fold. Just is what it is. Last year against the Rams, folded in the playoffs. Last year against the Lions, folded in a game to get the bye. This year against the Rams, early in the season, 4 interceptions. Are we going to act like Sam Darnold didn't throw this game away until special teams brought them back in it in the fourth quarter? 2 really bad interceptions, 1 on the goal line. Sam Darnold loves to throw the ball to the defense when the lights are bright. I will say, I make it seem so terribly bad. The Seahawks are geniuses. Seattle, that front office, they look like freaking like Mark Zuckerberg out there, like just printing money, bringing in Sam Darnold in exchange for Geno Smith. Like, just what a deal. Geno just was not the guy. He's fallen off. I don't even know if he was ever on. Like, he was decent in Seattle, but never going to bring them anywhere close to where Sam can bring them. Sam's just a better quarterback, more athletic. He stepped into this role this year, and back-to-back years, Sam Darnold has won 13, 14 games. You know, I think that's important to note. Sam Darnold is capable of winning you 14 games multiple times in a regular season. That is something worth celebrating. But when it comes to the playoffs, I don't have faith in Sam Darnold yet because I haven't seen it. He would have lost them the game against the Rams had Shaheed not returned that touchdown. Had they not had a few lucky breaks go their way in the fourth quarter. He made a phenomenal throw to Barner in the end zone. and he gets the 2-point conversion, right? He gets the score to JSN to win the game, and then the 2-point conversion to go up. But just like think about it logically. If not for that fluky 2-point conversion, the Seahawks lose the game, and we're talking about Sam Darnold as per usual in the big games. If Shaheed doesn't get that punt return TD, same thing. We're talking about Sam Darnold as we usually do. I just don't trust him. And that's why I hold back on calling the Seahawks real Super Bowl contenders. That's it. That's all it is. Besides that, I think they're great. JSN having a historic receiver season. Adding Shaheed. I mean, Shaheed, he cashed in on the whole trade. Like, he paid off that entire game. Had some big plays in the offense and the punt return TD. He looked awesome. He's going to be that boom weapon that you got that can just tear the roof off and get you a touchdown or two by himself. And he's going to be so versatile in the special teams area of the game. But at the end of the day, it boils down to Sam Darnold. You know, that's what it's going to be. Your defense, you can count on. You're going to be able to lean on them for some big stops, but you can't turn the ball over, especially like bad turnovers where it's on you, not tipped interceptions, not batted balls. Those were on Sam Darnold. You know, they were 2 interceptions thrown right to the DBs, or matter of fact, the D lineman's hands. The vision's just not there sometimes with him, especially in these big games. The lights get too bright for Sam Darnold. Let's say it that way. Let's call a spade a spade. If I see Sam Darnold prove me wrong in the playoffs, I'll be all on board. I'll say Seahawks to the Super Bowl. But until I see that, I'm going off what I know. That's all I got for you. That's all I got. You blame me? But good win for the Seahawks. When you get momentum in the fourth quarter, when the Rams kind of stall after they've pretty much demolished you, and you're able to climb your way back into things, that's impressive. That's a good win for you. Now you might get the bye. But again, I don't know how to feel. I don't. I like this team. I like where they're trending. But I don't know how I feel about Sam Darnold. Those are my thoughts from the game. Quick 20-minute episode for you. As you know, I'll be covering the Sunday games. Like I said, I'll be at Dolphins-Bengals, so I won't get to watch those afternoon games. But once I come back, you already know I'll be watching the games, rewatching the highlights, getting to know all the news from the day. Probably doing a late Monday night episode, so stay tuned for that. As always, the support's been great. I appreciate you. Get ready for all this content coming your way because I got nothing but time now, relaxing on vacation, so I'll just be editing and editing non-stop. I appreciate the support. Merry early Christmas. Merry or happy early New Year's. Appreciate your support, guys. Stay tuned. Lots more coming. Until next time, peace out. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the vacation. Enjoy Christmas. I'll catch you soon. Peace out.